Hey, hi guys. Just to let you know, today you don't have to be prepared for any questions. Okay, you can speak up since I let you unmute yourself. Just listen in. Okay. We do have our other teachers in the room. If you have noticed the participation list, you have Bern here with us and Miss Indra here is with us. Teacher Bern is here. So we are all going to be monitoring your naughtiness. So don't worry. I have extra help today. Be able to check it out for me, like how many of you are being extra naughty. That's why, so I can allow you to unmute so that if you are going to be disruptive, they will help me to mute you and they'll help me to remove you or whatever it takes to keep the class moving. Okay, so we have a 2-hour class today. So what's going to happen? I'm going to share with you the strategy on science first. Then I'll pass the mic over to teacher Indra and Mr. Byrne following that. And all of us, when we have covered our subjects, we will also be here to cover or answer your questions, whatever you may have. We'll have a chit chat session at the end. Okay, so if you cannot hear me, please let me know. I see that some of you cannot hear me. If somebody can hear me, just say I can hear. Those who cannot hear, I know it's your speaker which is in mute. Yeah, yeah, okay. So people can hear me. So those of you who can't, go to your speaker and put your volume to high and check out your audio settings. Okay, check out audio settings. That's important because you need to be able to hear. If you are here to hear the class, then it's no point you don't hear me, and then you only hear yourself. Woo! Shall we? The pressure is off because you don't have to prepare any questions. The pressure is on because PSLE is here, like right here. Like you have 5 more days to attend school. MOE has just announced that you don't have to go to school from 27, right? So you on holidays after 5 more days of school. So that's like, oh my God, the end is here already. Okay, I've been telling everyone after the exams, you can do whatever you want. You got like the whole of October, November, December, and you will be sitting down there in your room not knowing what to do. You'll be so bored. So now you have something to do, which is your PSLE prep. Please grab with both hands and prepare. And I'm happy that all of you are here. What do you mean, what school? What school is closing? All right. Okay. So let's jump straight in because I don't have much time. We need to cover as much as we can. Let's utilize our time effectively. Okay. Let's look at the shared screen. If you have any questions, just type it out. Okay. Okay. So what are we going to cover for my part? All 3 teachers will be doing what you need to know with respect to your subjects. So we will not be doing the same thing. Okay. That's first. Secondly, it will be related to your subject, so you need to pay attention to all 3 teachers. Okay, and all 3 different slides. Okay, we did not match our slides, so all the content that we have is really, really different from each other. So you need to pay attention. Cool. Who's not ready? I want to see if I can improve my audio with a little bit of headphones. So just give me a second. Maybe I put my headphone on. Right here. Okay, so you guys are going to help me. Tell me if the audio.
Teacher, do you think this year's PSLE is going to be easy or hard?
I'll answer the question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, great. There are some questions. So keep your questions to, some of the noise is coming from everybody's mic. So maybe I'll just mute all now. Okay, it's better? Okay, I mute everybody already. Only if you really need to speak, you unmute. Yeah, better. I hope they spare us. Okay, all of you may be like feeling a little bit of jittery, little bit of nervousness, but you don't have to, because you've already gone through 6 years of primary school education. You've gone through prelim. Your teachers have prepared you really well. You are part of 88 Tuition family. We are here to help you. So I'll show you how exactly we're going to help you in the next 10 days, and see how you can boost your confidence. Okay, all the 3 teachers are here to boost your confidence for the next 10 days, and you will ace this paper. Okay, so let's go to the slides, going from classroom to exam. So that's the strategy that I want to start talking about, because how do you get into the exam hall or do the exam paper, and what is it different from the classroom setting? Of course, in classroom, we have all our classmates trying to do the paper together, and our teacher is there to support us. We don't know something, we can ask questions either to our left and right where our friends are seated, or to the front where our teacher is, right? Or you can reach out to tuition teachers and anybody. But the exam is going to be your own individual work without help, and it's like the final destination where the marks will determine where you go to secondary school. So there's a lot of importance placed on it. So the strategy class today is for you to be able to gain some confidence, feel better, and say, okay, you can do it. And we go into the classroom confident, and we come out of it confident, and we wait for the results. Okay, and I know all of you guys can do it. So going from classroom to exam. Okay, so I put a question mark, like, what is it really about? What is the exam setting that is going to be different from your classroom learning? Okay, so let's look at this. So classroom is, if you have all the content that we have learned for all these 6 years, right? We just understand and consolidate concepts, and then we test each other, test in a very small way, right? Like small tests and exams, school-based. But when it goes to exam, it's national-based. So I'll show you what happens next, okay? Now we are doing revision, okay? Revision with your tuition teachers, in fact, the classroom learning is already stopped. We're not teaching you any more new topics. We are completely doing revision. So that's what revision means. From classroom, you introduce topics, you understand, and then you consolidate what you learn. But when you revision, is to reinforce, okay? That means whatever you learn, you reinforce by making it stronger, okay? So even if you have some misconception, you can clarify with your teachers and make your concepts stronger by reinforcing them. Using what? Okay, now this is a very important part. I'm circling here. I'm going to circle in green as well. Using questions. Okay, we don't really want to look at the textbook anymore. How many of you feel that it's been a long time since you looked at your textbook? Okay, you know the answer. Okay, since we bought the textbook like 1 year ago, it's been a long time. So you have to realize that the textbook is pretty useless, if I may put it in inverted commas, at this point of time, because even your teachers don't use it, which means you also shouldn't use it. Nobody should be using it at this point of time when you have 10 days left. That's why the circle on the slide shows you using questions. If you don't use questions to revise, then you are doing the wrong revision method. Okay, so please take note of that. And during the revision, you will identify key elements to pay attention to. If you don't pay attention to certain things, that means you're learning everything. You cannot be learning everything now. You got to pay attention to key details, key identifiers, key elements for you to know, okay, this is what I need to take note of. This question is asking me something specific to this, whether it be it anther. Is it asking me about the anther or the stigma or the pollen grains? So what do I know about these three? Is it the anther and the stigma just meeting, or are and then the pollen grains just jump over, or is it the pollen grains actually transfer by 2 methods, which is insect pollinated by or self-pollinated? Okay, so all these kind of identifying elements need to come into play. Okay, this is revision element. Now I'm going to go into exam element.
Okay, now this is important. I want you to read first. And then I want to see whether you guys can identify the difference between my statement 3 and statement 2. It's your turn now. Okay, I give you 30 seconds. You read up and tell me what's the difference between statement 3 and statement 2. And if you want to speak, I will let you speak. You can raise your hand. Okay, Alex is ready. Alex?
Late jobs for students.
Sorry, again? Okay, let's just help you underline the common words here. Okay. So there's a change in the red color. Let's look at the red color. Can you see? And then the other one is identify key elements to pay attention to. All this I've been telling you, but now we use these key elements. We've been telling you key elements for the past 6 years, but now we lay traps for students based on the key elements that we think you should be able to identify. So if you can find out these key traps or the traps that they lay out, then you can be this. Okay. Okay, agree? Now you can think like an examiner because you have moved from the step of classroom to revision mode to exam mode. Once you're in the exam mode, you have to be in exam mode, really alert, wondering what the examiner is really asking you, or what does he want from you? What is he trying to extract from you? What is the answer that he wants you to write down? You need to be thinking like that. You cannot be thinking like, okay, if I write this, maybe I'll get 1 mark or half mark. No, 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 no. If it's 2 marks, you need to be able to ask yourself, what can I write to extract the full 2 marks? Or what is the examiner asking? What is it that is on his paper, on his answer paper or the marking scheme that gives me 2 marks? Then you have to write that down. So in order to be able to do that, you need to think like an examiner. All right. Lastly, okay, now we talk about one more last point, which I also covered before. Those of you who attended my masterclass in June, I already covered this once, but I'm just going a little bit deeper today. Get ready for higher order thinking questions. What does that mean, right? Okay, so you have questions that are in the basic level, and then a bit skilled level, and then you have the advanced level. Okay, and in the exam, teachers or examiners tend to give you, okay, let me say 80%, 95, so 10, 15. So they will only ask you about 5, 10, 15. So this is about 85%. Okay, or maybe this is 80% basic questions so that you can answer them pretty well. And then you have another 15% of skill questions, and you have this 5%. Okay, this is in percentage, where there will be advanced based questions, which means they are tougher than what the average student can do. So the examiner is thinking that, okay, if the student cannot do my 5% advanced questions, then he's not cut out to be in the top 5%, which means he will drop out of AL1 and move into AL2 or AL3 grade. So these questions are placed there on purpose, of course. So that answers your question. Teacher, is this year's PSLE going to be easy or not? Well, it's going to be 80% easy. That's my answer. There you go. You see it right there on the screen. It's going to be 80% easy and 20% a little bit more difficult, but to be more specific, 5% very difficult and 15% so-so. So you have a middle class, upper class, and a lower class of questions, which we will try and give it to you on the paper itself. And this happens every year. So if you are really prepared, okay, you should be able to score the 80%, 15%, and then struggle through the 5% if you can't, or do it very easily. That means you're actually a person who can score 100, 99, 98, all this while. So that is the kind of segregation we like to do for the students, because that is the only way we know who's doing well in science and who's not so good in science. And that goes the same for all the subjects. And this will lead to